The scandalous story of Mukhtar Mai's gang rape and her steely fight for justice is murmured throughout Pakistan's heartland, seeping into the hardscrabble villages and fields, and into the minds of women and girls. Girls like 17-year-old Assiya Rafiq, who arrived in Mukhtar Mai's village just 2 days before we showed up with New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof.
Because of Mukhtar's courage and inspiration, I am here.
She came to Mukhtar as a last resort for help, with a story almost too hard to hear. Just more than a year ago, when Assiya was 16 years old, she says a friend of her mother sold her to two men she says were jewelry thieves. She says they took her away to a village house and locked her in a back room like an animal.
And they kept raping me, one after the other.
Even if she'd been able to escape, she says, the house was so remote she would have been quickly caught. Then she thought she had a lucky break. When her two captors were linked to a gold robbery, she was suddenly turned over to police. She would at last have a chance to tell her story. But the police refused to help her. The two men paid the police about $600 to be let off, she says, and they sweetened the deal by handing her over. And then it started again. She says the police chief and his deputy raped her. Then two more policemen from another police station. For many weeks, she says, she was handcuffed and brutalized.
They raped me right there in the police station.
Worse still, the police tried to force Assiya to take the blame for the jewelry robbery.
The policeman used to beat me, saying, "We know that you don't have the gold, but still you should confess."
They beat her so badly, she says, it was torture.
They beat me so hard I was bleeding and almost unconscious.
When Assiya's family finally discovered she was being held at a police station, they persuaded a court to release her. But she says only after the police paid the court officer to overlook her accusations of rape. She says the same police officers are now threatening to take her two younger sisters. What justice do you want?
They should be arrested and punished according to the law.
She's come here for safety as well as for justice. Does she still feel for her sisters, for other women?
I'm fighting for myself, but I'm also doing this for others, because if the culprits are caught, that will be a lesson for others.
Assiya says if she does not get justice, she will kill herself. No one has yet been charged, but using Mukhtar Mai's access to legal aid, she is hopeful.
I feel that Mukhtar is standing with me and helping me.
Justice is truly contagious. I mean, it started with Mukhtar, and now every day you have these people coming from all over Pakistan who have endured injustice, and instead of committing suicide, they're fighting back.
That's a nice photo. Mukhtar Mai, who used her suffering to lift up the women around her, has been such an inspiration to Nicholas Kristof, she has her own chapter in a new book he wrote with his wife, Cheryl Wu Dunn. You've entitled your book Half the Sky, a takeoff from a Chinese proverb.
Yes, it's women hold up half the sky. And right now, that's mostly an aspiration. But it would be great to make it into a reality.
Kristof and Wu Dunn, both Pulitzer Prize winners, write that women in the developing world are the key to greater gender equality and eradicating world poverty.
And the greatest unexploited resource that poor countries have isn't some seams of gold somewhere, it's their human capital.
If we are not empowering and educating women throughout the world, we cannot tackle poverty and extremism.
Those countries that have educated their girls have grown substantially faster than those that have marginalized their women.
You're talking about launching a worldwide women's rights revolution. Yes?
Yes, absolutely.
They point to people like Mukhtar Mai as living proof that educating and empowering women brings real change.
Lots of girls are now starting to raise their voices about atrocities committed against them.
She really has had a transformative effect on so many girls in that village. They are going to school now, and before, girls in her village did not. Girls who are raped, like Assiya, aren't killing themselves. Sure, the absolute level that women are living in that village of Mirwala is still pretty dreadful, but the trend is right, progress is right, and that is all about Mukhtar.